Hi. God, some of these lights in the background are just so fucking bright. There. I set the mood. Let me see, make sure I'm not connected to fucking Bluetooth here. I don't think I'm connected to Bluetooth. I think the last time I went live it was connected to Bluetooth and then it screwed up. Hello. Hello. What's up, Mr. Hatchy? Pink Bubbles, Lex Garage, Gerendo, is that how you say your name? Mike. Can't get enough of us, I know, right? Kevin. Thanks for loving the content. What? I don't know what that means. Virus. Wagwan. Hi from Serene. Mr. 2% Brofire. What's good, Vince? What's good with the Busa? Nothing. Honestly, I traded for it. I traded my e-bike for a Gen 2 Hayabusa, and I think I've put like 3 miles on it. I haven't even really rode it that much. What's up, Craig? Yellow. Some dude, hello. Mike Bell, what's up? What's up, Virus? You always so chill, calm? Hell no, I am not. I am not always so chill. I wasn't expecting you to change your mind about selling the S2000 so fast. What do you mean, JT? I never really planned on selling it. So changing my mind on selling it, I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I just got a text from a guy that said my injectors seem to do the trick. Literally, while I'm live streaming, some guy just texted me saying, the injectors seem to do the trick. Thanks for the great customer service. How's the cold start on the S2000? It's pretty damn good, actually. It doesn't have an idle air control valve. So right when I first fire it, for like the first time of the day, I'll crank it up and it will come up, like RPM will shoot to like 1500 as soon as it fires, and then it'll dip to like 500 and then it'll stabilize. But I don't know how to get rid of that first like initial dip, and I don't really give that much of a shit, to be honest. It runs fine. Like if you just give it like 3 seconds, it's fine. That's the thing with like fuel injection. Guys get really picky, and for good reasons, right? But I am not really that type of tuner, I don't think. Like you got to think of the old school guys that were dealt with carburetors for a really long time. They pumped the gas one too many times before they cranked it up, and the thing was flooded, and you fucking kill the battery trying to start it. But sometimes fuel injection guys will literally bitch about like a 50 RPM drop. Like, they're just really picky, and that's fine. But like at a certain point, I quit nitpicking. Like, it runs pretty damn good, just fucking leave it. Kind of thing. And maybe I'm a shitty tuner because of that, but I don't know. You have at least 2 Jamaican viewers. Fuck yeah, tech support. You taught me a lot. I have a fully built single cam 12.5 to 1 compression NAZ6. That sounds fun. Did you end up selling many Honda parts from your last video? I haven't sold a damn thing, to be honest. So maybe people were interested, maybe they weren't. Nobody's bought anything. I'd really like to sell some stuff though, because like I just get overwhelmed with like I got way too much shit. I got way too many hobbies, and I don't know if that's just like my ADHD brain or what, but I have way too many fucking hobbies. I have a lot. I have way too many motorcycles. I have way too many cars. I'm taking lessons to do paramotoring. So now I have a paramotor and 2 gliders. Yeah, it's crazy. And realistically, the shit that I use, I just don't use any of it. Like, I just have it. For what? What's the fucking point? If you're not using it, you shouldn't have it, kind of thing, right? That's how I always used to be. If I'm not using it, get rid of it and fucking buy something you're going to use. But yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that, but, you know, if you're not using it, that's how I always used to be, but now I'm in a position to where I don't want to sell the stuff because I know, like, Honda parts and a lot of the cars and stuff that I have, they're all just gaining value. They're kind of like an investment to an extent. Like my S2000. I don't think that car is really going to lose much value, especially with all the work that I put into it so far. I don't know what I'm fucking saying here. I've been so lost for like the last couple years. And I really don't know what fucking way is up anymore, to be honest. What's up, Robert? Hello, hello, hello. That's what Wagwan means. What's up? Oh, what's up to you, man? Wishful thinking on my part, JT. Oh, like you want me to sell it? Like, you'd have to offer me a good amount of money. If you want to offer me a good amount of money, cash talks, bullshit walks, you know what I'm saying? But it'd be tough for me to get rid of it. It would have to be a pretty hefty amount of money. I used the Skunk 2 IACV relocate kit. Yeah, maybe I'll look into that, Mike, if you want to send me a link for it. Maybe I'll look into doing that. Because I have the same intake manifold for my single cam build. And well, the problem is I'm pretty good at tuning cars without an idle air control valve. And you guys should learn how to do it too. If you guys want to be learning more skills with tuning and getting cars to idle really good. Tune them without an idle air. Yeah, it's there for, you know, it does help, obviously, an idle air control valve. Definitely smoothens things out. But, like, if you can get a car to cold start and run really good all the time without an idle air control, it just, like, gives you some new stuff to tune and whatever. And I'm like an old school kind of guy where like I like a little bit of the new school stuff and I like a lot of the old school stuff and I try to make a blend of them. And I'm like, what do I really need from the new school stuff? And what can I take from the old school stuff? And I try to put them together. And that's kind of how I've always been. I always just I do enough to make stuff run good. I don't go above and beyond on a lot of stuff. And you know, like I said, maybe that makes me a shitty tuner, but I make shit run good. Enough for me. And 90% of my customers are the same way. Like, they just want a car that runs good. And if it runs good, you know, they don't really care about the other small shit. You know, like a lot of people bring me cars with a flex fuel sensor. And I tell them, if you want me to tune the flex fuel sensor so you can run any gas anytime, that's going to be more money because I have to tune the car on pump gas and E85, so it's kind of like tuning the car twice. And you have to build the flex fuel tables to accommodate for when the sensor reads X amount of fuel, whatever. And then you run into the issues with, what if the flex sensor fails and it's tuned on pump gas and it compensates for E85? It's going to run super fucking rich if the sensor fails. It's going to pull a bunch of power out, and you're going to have a lot of ethanol in the tank. Or I should say it's opposite. If you tune the car on pump and swap it to E85 on the sensor, it's going to revert back to the pump gas map. So if you have a ton of E85 and your sensor fails and reverts to zero, it's going to run super lean and maybe hurt the motor. So like there's always gives and takes with like the new tech stuff. Like, and I'm not saying flex fuel sensors are new tech. They're really not at all. I'm just saying, like, I like the KISS method of keep it simple, stupid. And I feel like as long as you're like a little bit mechanically inclined and you understand how stuff works a little bit and can back out of the throttle in a shitty situation, I think you're fine. And I think that awareness with your engine is a good thing to have, right? I mean, you shouldn't always have to rely on the electronics to save you. And if you are, I just don't think you have good situational awareness with your engine and with your car and your body and stuff. You're not in tune with what's going on with the engine. And that's what I pride myself in, and that's why I think I'm a good tuner in those aspects, because when I'm tuning a car, I just know if stuff doesn't feel right, because I can, like, I feel like I kind of have a sixth sense with cars a little bit, and I can just, like, hear stuff. I know exactly what little rattles are, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people that are just coming into this, to cars and engines and tuning and stuff like that, they don't have that awareness because they didn't fuck up as much as I did when I was younger, if that makes sense. That was a long tangent, and I apologize, but I just wanted to say it because I was thinking it, right? So I'm just spitting out what's coming out of my mouth, or what's out of my brain. Not sure what you're looking for with shirts, but my parents do it as a side gig. Decent Glidon shirts with design for roughly $10 a shirt. Yeah, maybe, Robert, we can maybe talk at some point. I would like to do some shirts soon. Can I run E85 on stock fuel lines? Yeah, I don't see any issue with that. The only time you can't really run E85 through a certain line, I don't know. I feel like you can run E85 through fucking anything. You really can. As long as you're not letting it sit for like a really long, extended period of time. I really don't think E85 deteriorates stuff like people say. Unless it's a certain E85 from a place that's known to have like shittier E85 that has like more water. I don't know. Because some places you'll get E85 and it will be really good. Like, the E85 I get around me, I can leave that shit in the tank for fucking 5 years, and it'll be fine. Everything's okay. But then again, you drive like an hour south of here, and you get E85, and you leave it sit for like 5 minutes, and everything's clogged up and fucked. You know, so I feel like there's a difference with certain places that sell E85 and the quality fuel that you're getting. So I think that's actually a thing. I just removed the IACV on my K-swap. Best it's ever idled. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, sometimes when you install, like, different injectors or different intake manifolds or put a turbo kit on or whatever, sometimes the factory components really aren't meant to work all in harmony together. Like, for example, like, some guys have issues idling my Hunter Tune injectors. And I always tell them, like, well, what's your idle speed? And some guys say, like, oh, I can't get my 1500s to idle smooth on a 650 RPM idle speed that's factory set. And the engine is just really small. Like, once you go up to a certain size injector, like, you can't turn it down enough without having it shut off. Like, my injectors run up to like 1.4 milliseconds and then they shut off. Some of them work up to like 1.2, but I don't flow match them at 1.4 because typically, like, guys will idle, if they're sized properly for the most part and they're running like E85 or whatever, the lowest millisecond a lot of guys run is like 1.6, 1.8, something like that. And that's usually where I try to match for idle. But yeah, that's just a thing that people do. And sometimes you have to play around with stuff because the factory components really aren't designed to, it was never designed to run with that size injector. You know, there's just a lot of variables. But if anybody has issues with, you know, idle and stuff like that, and they send me an email, I always get back to people, or I try to get back to people as best I can and try to help. as much as I can. Honestly, like if you guys purchase injectors from me and you have problems, I'm like there's a reason every single set of injectors I'm selling now, it comes with the email and the contact info that you can hit me up if you have problems. But 90% of people, they don't have issues with them, and they can figure it out. And it's cool to see the knowledge that people have gained over the years. I'm sorry, I'm really going off on a tangent. I'm just fucking blabbing. But K-Series idle air control valves are known to have, like, issues. Why did you stop using HTS? Because it's annoying a little bit. HTS is awesome for free. Like, obviously, you can't complain about it. It's a free software, and a lot of stuff works really good with it. But, like, there's instances with HTS where I've been getting a little frustrated, and the injector data is one of them. I have to have, like, totally custom different injector data for HTS versus any other software I use, because I think there's a little bit of glitches or something with HTS in the injector data side of things. There's also, like, some fueling issues for, like, cold start. I don't know if any of you guys use HTS, but a lot of the cars that I've tuned with HTS, you'll cold start them and they'll run, like, super fucking rich for the first, like, 20 seconds. And then they'll clear up and they'll run good. And it's just like a random weird thing. So I hit up the guys that run HTS and I asked them about it, and they told me that, like, a lot of the startup tables for fueling are backwards. So, like, if you add 20% on cold start, right, on one of the tables, you actually have to put minus 20 if you want to add 20 and plus 20 if you want to minus 20. So, like, that shit's just kind of weird. And it's, you know, some stuff works really good with HTS. Like, certain injectors work really good with HTS because they kind of, like, ironed out a lot of the details with it. And then some stuff, you know, is a little bit more of a challenge. Like, if you tune 2200s on HTS, a lot of times my injector data says, like, a 450cc injector with, like, some random fucking dead time. And that's how I got it to run good. Like, sometimes you just got to play around with stuff. Don't be scared to. Just play around until you get it to run good. Like I was saying earlier with, like, sometimes you just have to be old school thinking with, does this run good? And if it doesn't, like, let's just get it to run good. You know, let's not try to, like, overcomplicate stuff, at least in the beginning. My girlfriend's telling me to make a wish. It must be 11/11. Is it 11/11, guys? Make a wish. What's on your mind, Mr. Mint? I've been talking about what's on my mind a little bit. Christine keeps texting me. Thank you. I'm glad I inspire you. I've been thinking about selling my Mustang too. I already got bored. Yeah, man, that's like part of having fucking ADD. I get like, I'll go on like 6-month tangents with like hobbies, and I'll be like, oh, I like hyper obsess over shit for like a little while, and then I get bored with it, and then I want to do something else. And with the YouTube stuff, it's really been hard for me to like get away from cars, even though I've been kind of bored with them. But I love helping you guys out, so I'm gonna try to keep doing it as long as I can. I've got a Z6 with rods, pistons, cam, running tuner studio on a Speedwino. An oilless turbo. Nice. You bought an oilless turbo, but a Speedwino? I would have probably spent my money on a better engine management, personally. I've just had issues with the Speedwino, personally. I had a Miata that ran on it, and one of my injectors started on fire. Because I think it like something in an injector driver or something maybe with the Speedwino, and then like I was cranking it up one morning and the fucking injector wiring started on fire. It's fucking weird. I have way too many cars, yet I'm not selling my S2000. Yeah, that's like a car I don't want to sell. It's like, I want to get rid of the cars that I don't have a bunch of time and money invested into. The stuff I don't have time and money invested into is the stuff I want to get rid of. The stuff that like I've put a lot of time into obviously has more sentimental value and makes me not want to sell it as much. So, but like I said, if you want to offer me a good amount of money, cash talks. Mike says the kit's on eBay. I don't know what kit you're talking about. Oh, the IACV kit. Okay, I'll check it out. I also have a problem with too much shit. Currently have a 65 Mustang, unrestored, rust-free in New England for $8,500 and people are flaking. Yeah, I don't really know. The thing too with like specific cars, like it sounds like, you know, a 65 Mustang, not everybody wants that kind of car. So you have to find your market that's like, you know, you have to get that like 1% that actually wants that car. And you have to also get them in the right time. Like, do they want to buy it right now? Or are they going to wait 5 years to fucking buy one? You know what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes specialty cars and stuff like that are a little bit harder to sell because they're just harder to sell because, you know, it's a very niche market kind of thing. Where if you bought a fucking pickup truck, a lot of people want a pickup truck, you know. Whoever commented on tuning, thank you. I have to remember to bring my bench flash setup tomorrow. Yeah, cool. Glad to remind you. Stop playing, you're a good tuner. Yeah, well, if you have that mindset too, you get like complacent. And I've been learning this with flying. If you get confident and whatever, you get complacent and you fuck up, you know, like you always should think you can do better in whatever you're doing in life. It doesn't matter if it's cars or whatever, but never think you're good. Like you always have to, like it's kind of my pitfall, I think, because I think down on myself quite a bit. Like I don't give myself enough credit for what I've done. And it's tough to get out of that mindset. I always like think like, oh, I fucked up, or I could do better here, or you know what I mean? What was the first software you learned to tune on? Chrome. Honda. Chipped ECU shit. And I think Chrome is a great first software. I really do. It's really easy. You get the basic of what a fuel map does. And, yeah. What's the best fuel to run other than E85 when on flex? Like if you have a flex sensor, you're saying, obviously just get the highest octane unleaded that your city offers. I think that's probably the best next thing. If you want to, sorry, I gotta find the comment wherever it went. Yeah, the best fuel other than E85 when on flex. Obviously, there's other gas types or other fuel types other than E85. You know, VP Racing sells a bunch of stuff, but I'm assuming you're asking like, what's the best I can run that I can get at a gas station? And obviously, just get, you know, 93 octane with 10% ethanol. That's usually the best I look for. I use your injectors for my clients, by the way, and I love them. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Playing COD right now. I'll send you some pics of their work on the book face. Sounds good. What's up, No Budget Racing? Just got done building my engine for an event this weekend. Gonna be my first time tuning with E85. You're gonna fucking love it, dude. Cars just, I don't know, man. They just are happier when you put ethanol in them, no matter what. Like, I feel like any engine can benefit from E85, personally. There's still some naysayers out there and some old heads. Can't run that goddamn fucking corn juice in my goddamn 63 carbureted fucking thing with fucking orifices this big. They'll clog up. Oh, god damn it. Where are we at here? Thanks for the tip on getting the idle dialed with no IACV. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You can play with a lot of stuff other than the idle air control. You can use ignition timing. you know, to control idle. That's how I use ignition timing to control idle on my S2000, and it runs pretty good. But it the truth. Gerendo. Yeah. Dogged out Hondas. What's up, Hunter? Hello, hello, hello from Texas. I'm out here still just training dogs. I'd still love to drive up there and train Roxy. I've got a Honda Odyssey we could dyno. Yeah, I actually found a local dog trainer lady. She's really good, and we've been working with her a little bit here and there when we have free time. And Roxy really is a fast learner, and it's really cool. A lot of the problem with dog training is the owner. They don't implement the training, and that's part of my problem is I just fucking love the dog so much that sometimes I don't implement the training I should be. I know what to do. I know what I gotta do. It's just actually implementing doing it. I live in Virginia. Nice. How is life treating me? Pretty good. Life's been pretty busy lately learning how to paramotor. If you guys are I wanted to make a Facebook post today asking like if any of my friends have flown paramotors, because it's super cool. Like, it's awesome. And that's what I've been doing for the last like 2 months, learning how to do that. It's all about tuning the duty for the IACV versus idle speed is how I do it. And for HTS, I go into the ETC value and set to 0 for cold start. Yeah. Have you been tuning any cars lately? My brother's looking to tune his F-22 Samurai. I haven't been taking on anything lately. I just really haven't been motivated to tune cars lately. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I probably should tune some cars. I probably should. I just haven't. Have I used Tuner Studio? Yes, I have. Nas on eBay won it for $350. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Hello, missed the last live. Glad I caught this one. Simon D90s. What's going on, brother? Honda self-tuning rookie tips. I made a video on like Honda and what to look for and what stuff does in the software. Go check it out. That's my tip for you, is go watch that video. Found your channel a few months ago, heard your name for a while, started binge watching from the beginning up to fall winter of 2020. Now learning a lot and enjoying the content. Let's go. Thanks, Chris. Glad you found the channel. That's really cool. Fresh to spec. What's up, Hunter? Brother tuned? Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah, brother, right there. How's that for a hell yeah? I'm wearing a hell yeah, brother shirt. What's your opinion on V1 Honda? Got a good deal. Harness arrives tomorrow. Yeah, as long as it works. You know, a lot of the older stuff, people sell it because it doesn't work. So they try to scam you. Hopefully it works. That's all I gotta say. But V1 Honda is the same as the new shit. You just don't have Bluetooth, so you can't like stream it to your fucking Android radio and data log with, you know what I mean, Bluetooth stuff. So, but V1, you know, works the same as all the other shit. For a non-Honda chassis, is K-Pro still worth it or better off running a standalone? I think K-Pro is worth it. I really like K-Pro because I like Honda in general because it's very user-friendly and you don't really have to overcomplicate stuff with it. A standalone is a little bit more complicated in the sense of there's a lot more setup in the tuning, and you know, harnesses and stuff like that are all homemade, so it's, you have more chance for, you know, error in that stuff. So if you want to run a K-Pro, I wouldn't say don't. You know, if you're, especially if you're like confident in it and you're not trying to like expand your horizons, you just want a car that runs good, fucking K-Pro works pretty damn good, man. I ain't talking down on it. I'd never be able to afford one, but like, I just like the DIY of the Speedduino. Yeah, like I said, man, I did the same shit. I like, you know, Speedduino for the most part. I just had a little bit of issue with it. Tips on ignition timing when street tuning. If it's a turbo car and you put ignition timing in it and the boost drops, you did something right. So put ignition in it, like 2 degrees or something, put 2 degrees in it. If the boost, like do a poll, log your boost level. If it makes, say, 8 pounds on 16 degrees and you put 18 degrees in it and it only makes 7 pounds, it liked the ignition timing. So that's a good tip. I usually tell guys that, you know, if you put ignition in it and the boost drops, it liked the ignition. That's a really good tip that guys probably don't talk about. So take that and run with it, brother. Hello, Hunter. Sweet cut, bro. Thanks. Watching from New Zealand. What time is it there? The fuel octane versus E85 made me think of flex fuel stuff. If you're tuned on 93 or 91 and E85, what happens if you dump in 110? Well, 110 doesn't have any alcohol in it, so I don't think it's going to register if it's tuned on flex fuel. It's going to be the same power and everything as your 91 octane map. It's going to be the same power. 110 can take more boost and timing versus 91, you know. Your diet doesn't look on point. Well, I have a 2% diet, Mr. 2%. I guess you've always had a superior diet your whole life. Let me know how your diet is. Nos, I meant new old stock. I got the comp oilless turbo on eBay. Yeah. ICV kit. I need you to live closer to PA. Matt Happel lives in PA. So maybe hit him up. Maybe he'll help you out. Poppy Breezy, B20V Turbo or B18V Turbo. I currently have a B20 rebuild, but someone is selling me a B18 to rebuild for cheap. I don't know if I should dump money into the B20 or just blow it up and go B18. It depends on what kind of power level you're going for, man. The B20 is a lot of fun because it makes a lot of average power. It makes more torque, so it can spool up a turbo a lot faster. So I like the B20 for those reasons, but it does have a pretty small cylinder wall, and it is limited to how much power it can make without cracking the sleeves. So hopefully that helps. The B18 is going to make it is more power capable. You can put more power to it without breaking it, but it's going to have a smaller power window, the B18, you know. So I like B20 stuff, but just don't push it past like 400 horsepower. I've made 500 on B20 stuff, but they will break. You might have fun for a little while, but roll racing is what I'm looking for. Well, that doesn't help me either. You got to tell me what kind of power you want to make. You want to fucking beat Hellcats? You need a B18. If you just want to beat your fucking buddy's Duramax, a B20 would fucking walk that thing, you know? That's all depending on what kind of cars you want to beat. Like how competitive you want to be. If you want to be like really competitive and beat everybody on the street, then you're going to be working on the thing a lot, you know, and you better spend some money building the motor. Best Sidewinder for a K20? I don't know what the best one is. You can, like the best for the money, I'd probably go with like a Jack Spania manifold. I think the 1320 ones that I was talking about in the video last year for my Integra, I think those manifolds are like no longer, or you can't find them on eBay. You have to go on their website like specifically. Maybe give them a call and say, hey, I want to buy this manifold, because I think they got in trouble with like the EPA or something. The 1320 manifolds or whatever. So yeah, the Jack Spania ones are good. I think there's another company called like Bull Boost or something that's out there now. Him and Jack Spania sell the same manifolds. PLMs are okay. They're not the greatest. I have a PLM for one of my cars, and I don't know. They're not that great, to be honest. They're just like it just seems like the quality control isn't as good kind of thing. Like a little bit rougher cut. Otherwise, you can go on eBay. I'll tell you what the best one is for the money. Go on eBay and look up Sidewinder from Rev 9. Rev 9. Carlos says I look sexy on the live. That's fucking funny. go on eBay and look up the Rev 9 turbo manifold. The Rev 9s are, they don't look as pretty because I think they're mild steel, they're not stainless, but they hold up really good. And the quality control is good. Nothing much. Finished my D-Series build, trying to break it in at the moment. So far I had put in 350 miles. It's running on a P28 with a Honda base map. Fuck yeah, brother. Hot in those rhinos. Hot in these rhinos. Yeah, dude, today it was 118 degrees outside. The heat index. It was like 100 degree actual temperature and an 81 degree dew point. Fuck. It was toasty. And it's funny because tonight, I could fucking have a sweatshirt on right now. Like, it's kind of chilly. So, that's funny. But yeah, it's been hot out. B18 it is. Yes, I want to. Yeah, you want to compete, man? Get the fucking B18. Put a big-ass turbo on that fucking thing and send it to the moon. Charlie Snodgrass, thank you. Ball boost swallows. Is that just because it's hot out and you have ball sweat? Is that what that means? Beat V8s, thanks for the info. Great videos. Yeah, beat V8s, man. You could do that with a B20. It depends on what type of V8, you know? There's a lot of different V8s out there. A fucking stock Mustang GT, you can walk with a fucking single cam, you know? If it's a fucking LS swapped Mustang, you're probably going to need to work a little harder. Probably going to need all-wheel drive. In a K-Series. Do you have any videos tuning E85 on a D16? Yeah, I do. There's a video I did it's like a purple valve cover, top mount. That car was on E85. I've done a lot of single cams on E85. I did that Del Sol recently on the channel. That one was on E85. Pretty much all the ones I tune are on E85, to be honest. They're like all on E85. I barely tune anything on pump gas. But yeah, that's probably going to do it, guys. I'm going to peace out of here. I'm in the garage in Milwaukee sweating my ass off. Yeah, you know what's funny, though? Is there's like a boundary between, like, I'm in Oshkosh and Milwaukee. Like, in the middle somewhere, it gets really fucking hot. Like, you guys are still going to be hot as fuck tomorrow. And up here, it's only going to be like 85. So that's kind of crazy. Like, today was like 100 degrees in Oshkosh, and in Green Bay, literally 45 minutes north of here, it was 78. Huh? Crazy. I really like weather stuff. If you guys are into the weather, I love analyzing weather. It's like kind of like one of my secret passions. I like fucking nerding out on it. I have a B18 on 5 pounds, makes 200 wheel. In my EK hatch, it's a ripper, stock motor other than head studs. Hell yeah, dude. Turn that fucker up to like 15 pounds. It'll take it. I promise. As long as you have good fuel and stuff. One of my first cars I ever tuned was a B18. I tuned it on 18 pounds on pump gas. Fucking ripped. 5 pounds is not really a lot for that. It can take more. Put more to it. Don't be scared. What's your advice for tuning a high comp compression K20? Well, I don't know, just tune it like any other car, really. Just have good fuel. Use E85 or use really, really high octane gas, you know. I have a B20 low compression. I want to turbo it, but keep it at 300 horsepower. Is it even worth getting a turbo? Yeah, it's always worth getting a turbo. That should never be a question that comes out of anybody's mouth. It is always worth getting a turbo. Was thinking a 57 millimeter precision with proper maintenance. I don't like precision stuff. They're great for race cars, but they're not really great for guys learning and street car stuff because they're built really tight. Like, the specs are really precise. It's precision. So like any little fuck up in oiling, whatever, they're gone. They're done. So I like VS Racing turbos, the ones I sell on huntertune.com, because you can literally fucking pour sand in them and they still work. proper maintenance can go out the window with a VS Racing turbo. You can fucking spit in it and it'll last for like a long time. See you later, Pink Bubbles. Have a good night. K20 or 24 for high horsepower. Any of them. Doesn't matter. How much power you want to make? You can make like 700 horsepower on a stock K24. Have a good night. Did you move to the States? I've always lived in the States. Don't go. Have a good night and a better tomorrow. Let's go, LMAO. I check it out. Peace out. Hey, what's your setting on Honda launch control to get it popping? Honda doesn't really allow you to pull ignition timing at idle. Or, not at idle. On launch control. You need like a standalone to be able to do it aggressively or use HTS. Because Honda doesn't really have the... you can't do ignition delay, and I think you can only pull so much ignition out on the launch control. It'll only let you pull so much, kind of thing. Just play around with what RPM you have it set at and play around with the amount of fuel. If you pour a fuck ton of fuel in it, dude, like eventually it's just going to flood out, and it'll eventually fire all that fuel that's in there, and it'll fucking shoot a fireball. Just play around, man. Don't be scared. Have a blessed night. You too, man. Running 94. Thank you. Have a great night. Stock Trans. Okay, I'll check them out. Thank you. I sound Canadian. Yeah, it's because I live like, honestly, probably like 4 hours from Canada. I'm up here, you know. 700 on a K20 would do any head work? No. Fuck that. Just pull it out of the showroom floor and fucking turbo it. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Keep it simple. Just fucking put power to it. Just go Honda. Yeah. Honda all day. I love Honda. It works great. Any place to look for when tuning appointments open up? Yeah. I might talk about it on YouTube. Otherwise, just keep bugging me on Facebook. Eventually, I'll get back to you when I'm ready to tune cars again. Or when I am tuning cars, I'll get back to you. Otherwise, just try. You know, keep trying, man. You'll catch me on a good day, and I'll tune your car. That's how it goes with me. I'm not, like, scheduling or anything. I'm just doing them at my leisure when I have free time, which I don't have a lot of, so. But yeah, anyways, see you guys later. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. God bless. See ya.